Hey guys, what's going on? We got another Enhancement Shaman video here today, and this time we are playing a bit of Storm, and I think I have one or two games as Elementalist. Um, I just wanted to say a lot of people have questions about Enhance and or are struggling with Enhance. Um, a big thing for Enhance is going to be your awareness, so awareness of your teammates and awareness of what your enemies are doing, mainly because you have a lot of utility that is group utility as well as a range kick. So what you're looking for is fears on your teammate, you're looking at what to ground, you're looking at what to kick. You have to look at defensives and keeping up your earth shield and stuff, which you'll notice that I tend to struggle with is keeping earth shield and healing stream totem down. As you can see right now, my healing stream is on off cooldown and I'm still not pressing it. That's one of the big things that you have to get used to. But another thing is knowing when to use your defensives and when not to. In this type of season, it's very, very explosive. So if you don't use it at the right time, you're definitely going to feel it. But that doesn't mean you're going to die. It's just going to be really difficult to make a comeback. But anyways, on to the matches. Right here we got Outlaw Demonology into a Mistweaver. We are playing Enhancement, Windwalker, and Holy Paladin. Right now our main focus here is going to be on the Demonology Warlock, just trying to shut down his damage because one, an Outlaw Rogue is very, very tanky, and two, demonologies, if left alone, are just a extreme nuisance with their spammable fear and their amount of damage they can dish out. But as you can see, we got a nice triple cleave there and brought down the warlock. On to the next, on to the next match, we got Destro, Havoc, and a Resto Shaman. This one's a bit tougher for us because we the Doomwinds isn't as potent, and my damage definitely falls when there is a Resto Shaman because of Earthen Wall. But the Warlock was doing an amazing job teleporting, CCing us, getting us off of him, and just being that warlock nuisance, they have a lot of mobility they can use and getaway as well as defensive. So a lot of times when he teleported, we just swap targets because it's not worth spending the time trying to catch him while he uses soul burn demonic circle. Because when they use that, they're immune to, I believe they're immune to roots and movement impairings. So, and they also gain like a burst of 70% movement speed, so it's almost impossible to catch them. But as you can see, we get really, really close to bringing him down, but he ends up using, I believe he used a Hellstone. So we're still sticking on him because he's close by. We get another cage totem into a static there, which was really nice, into a ring of peace, and he tried to demonic circle, but the static totem brought him back. So it was quite nice there. Uh, but as you can see, he's got wall up here. He's on stun DR, so there's not a whole lot. There he uses Observer while I proc Ascendance, which is kind of unfortunate because it's going to be doing a significant amount of damage to me because it deals damage every time you cast something. And while you're in Ascendance, you're casting Lightning Bolt on every single Storm Strike. So you have to be very, very careful there. But as you can see, they're kind of stacking up a little bit, so it makes it a bit easier for us to interrupt and deal with the Resto Shaman, which I found a bit weird, but as you can see, he ported, so we just swapped to the Resto Shaman real quick. I get pushed away, so we're kind of just walking slowly towards him. I Ghost Wolf and try and LOS because I see he dropped two portals on me, so I'm just trying to ignore some damage as much as possible. Then I get on top of him. There's the Earthen Wall as well, so I can't really do a whole lot here. So I just, right here, bring him into the group, drop a stun totem, get a triple stun off his leg sweep, and then onto the full DR stun, just making full use of everything and just getting it off. There, we make the mistake of trying to really push the Resto Shaman. Should have just honestly just went right for the Warlock instead. Here I'm trying to kill the Observer, trying to jump at it and get it. So we switch back to the Warlock, and we just get a lot of damage out on him. The Shaman goes in for a lasso, which kind of worked in our favor because the Warlock doesn't have much defensive here. And here Shook gets a nice blind into a nice triple leg sweep. Sorry about my chair if you can hear it. It's very, very squeaky and it annoys me. But he gets a blind into a leg sweep, and then I sunder him to just kind of interrupt a little bit more. There's a paralysis. So the Warlock's doing a great job of just keeping those minor stuns, keeping us away, just at arm's length where we can't touch him. Here I get a kick, and then I believe he grounded my Hex there, which is quite unfortunate on our part, but we end up getting him. There I get a cage into a static, so that way we can get a bit of damage. Unfortunately, the Warlock actually gets precog there, so he doesn't get hit by the second stun, but we're still doing so much damage to him. Plum gets a nice paralysis on him, so I just knock him out of sight of the Warlock, and that way we could take him out. So that's another thing you got to watch for is getting those thunderstorms, especially against resto shamans. Because of Spirit Link, you can use thunderstorm to a significant advantage, just keeping them spread apart so he can't use it. Although he could use it for his other teammate, it's definitely more valuable if you have 3 people in it. But here we got Arms, Windwalker, Holy Priest. The Holy Priest is an interesting one. We don't have much experience fighting them because they recently got buffed, so they recently just came in. But I use Sunder to take off his Holy Ward, so that way he can get hit by the static totem. And here, they're popping all their cooldowns, so I'm kind of just trying to run a little bit while I brought Rocky out just so that way I have that extra stamina buff. And we're just wailing on the warrior. We get died by the sword right there. Shook gets paralysis, so I can kind of see some damage coming. I proc an ascendant, so I'm just like, okay, let's get something out. But they don't end up capitalizing. Here they start doing a significant amount of damage. They disarm me, which was really weird timing. And then they get a shockwave. I don't know why they waited to disarm. There, Plum gets a nice leg sweep on the priest, and we just get so much damage out of nowhere on the warrior that he just falls over. So I'm not quite sure what happened, but I don't know if Plum just got one heck of a rising sun kick, but we just got a significant amount on him, and we were able to take him out within that leg sweep. So this match, we fought these guys earlier, but it was like a 30-minute match, so I didn't want to show that. But these guys, this comp is insane. There is so much CC going out. Like honestly, they're constantly switching targets, but they did make a couple of mistakes. So here I got cycloned while the arcane mage was bursting on me. So that was a kind of miscommunication on their part because it absorbed a lot of the damage. If you don't know what cyclone does, it makes you immune to all damage and healing effects. So be wary of when you get cyclone, because if they're bursting on you and you get cyclone, just don't trinket it or anything, just because you can ignore so much. But as you can see, we're kind of on the feral druid as much as possible because we know he wants to cyclone Shook. He wants to cyclone us. So if we can stop as many cyclones as possible, is best. Because every time he gets a cyclone, his next combo spender sends out a full feral frenzy, which is kind of insane. So they're doing so much damage. Here I saw the arcane mage hitting me, so I just walked into the ring of frost, so I could just trigger it and start hitting the feral druid. But you can see I'm kind of chasing after everybody, just trying to get my Lava Lash debuff on people, just to increase my damage a bit further. Um, Here I pull in everybody and get a static totem down. Oh no, I didn't. Oh, it's on cooldown. Oh, that was a mistake. Uh, but anyways, there the mage went for a polymorph, but I don't know who it was on. It fell off. But there, Shook gets a nice hodge on the priest. He trinkets, but we were able to take out the feral druid. It's kind of interesting, that match. The other match I was an elementalist, so it took a lot longer trying to melee them. But yeah, it was definitely a pain in the butt of a comp to fight. Here we're fighting TSG, which is Unholy Arms with a Resto Druid. Um, Here you have to keep in mind resto druids are definitely a target to hit, especially if you can pull them in. So this is why I'm trying to walk towards the druid, because I want to grip him in, right? I have that ability, but he walks LOS just in time, so I can't pull him in. But I end up getting his Trents, which is a huge part of his healing output. But as you can see, they also just fall over from minor damage cleave. So here our main focus is definitely the DK. They are very vulnerable to physical damage. If you're elementalist against this, I would definitely say go after the warrior because DKs excel at absorbing magical damage. Here, I should have been closer to Shook so I could interrupt that clone, but I was tunnel visioned, unfortunately. But Shook gets a nice hodge into a nice blind, and then Plum lines up with a leg sweep on them, and we end up taking out the DK. But I could have prevented Shook from having to use his trinket by interrupting that druid's clone. So that's another thing where awareness takes in, is just keep in mind of where people are. And here we get Cupid with a BM Hunter, Rep Pally, and a Resto Druid again. This is also the last match of the video, too. Here we get really, really close to the Rep Pally, so we switch to the Hunter. And the reason why is because Druids struggle with multi-healing. Not necessarily healing two targets at the same time, but instantly swapping to targets, if that makes sense. Because they have to put out so many hots, it just burns their mana like no tomorrow. Um, as you can see, he's in tree form, so he's not having too much of an issue. I think Shook accidentally hodged the wrong target there, but or the Pally just used his stun break. Here, Shook bops me at the same time the Ret Pally has to bubble because we just get so much damage on him. And there I get a nice hex on the Druid, but he gets a hodge on me, so I go ahead and Trinket Burrow because I didn't want to risk any damage going out and dying. So here, we start back on the Rep Pally. The Druid's still playing pretty far back. The Hunter kind of pushes up, so I'm like, okay, he wants to trap Shook, so I force him back. He gets a bop from the Rep Pally. Rep Pally has nothing left at all. The Druid's kind of close, so I grip him in, drop a static totem, use Sunder so they can't kick it. We switch to the Druid real quick. There's the Tranquility. So Plum gets a nice Ring of Peace on him, and then we just kind of hit different targets, and we're able to just take him out. But that is it for the video. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully you're having better luck with Enhance than I am, and I hope you don't give up on it either. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Laters!